The weekly Podioplex will begin after this short podcasting promotional.
Greetings, I'm Kevin Lauderdale, and the name of the show is It Has Come to My Attention. Once a month, I spend just a few minutes drawing your attention to genre-related things that may have slipped under your geek radar. Classic movies finally out on DVD or Blu-ray, not-so-well-known books, audio, graphic novels. Not the sort of stuff you'll see on Amazon's front page, but the sort of treasures that are buried several clicks in under the recommendations carousel. About half the time I mention things for proper geek parents put into the hands of proper geek kids. And sometimes I even do a funny voice or two. All of this for free as part of the Chronic Rift Network, available on iTunes and at chronicrift.com.
This is Michael Faulkner, and it's showtime at the March 27th, 2012 edition of the Weekly Podioplex, brought to you by the Chronic Rift. Starting with the box office report, this weekend's rundown kicks off with number 10 and Journey to the Mysterious Island, down 2 from 8th. In 9th place is Safe House, down 2 from 7th. At number 8 is new release October Baby, debuting with $1.7 million in 390 theaters. In 7th place is Project X, down 3 from 4th. And holding steady at 6th place is the tenacious 1,000 Words. At 5th, we have Active Valor, holding its position from last week with an initial $2 million and a new total of $65.9 million. In 4th place is last week's third, John Carter, taking in $5.1 million for a new total of $62.4 million. In 3rd place is last week's runner-up, Dr. Seuss's The Lorax, adding $13.2 million for a total of $177.4 million. In 2nd is last week's winner, 21 Jump Street, with another $20.5 million and a total of $70.2 million. Coming in 1st place this week with a commanding performance is The Hunger Games, debuting with $152.5 million. That places the film at 3rd all-time, behind Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 with $169.2 million and The Dark Knight at $158.4 million. It debuted above all of the Twilight movies and also topped Alice in Wonderland's $116.1 million to the highest debut for a non-sequel ever. The Hunger Games has also passed Fahrenheit 9/11's $119.2 million to become Lionsgate's highest-grossing movie ever. Also, thanks to the Hunger Games performance, the top 12 this week cashed in an estimated $206.9 million, making it the 9th highest weekend ever and the first all-time in the month of March. Closing out the box office report, let's take a look at what was winning in the box office in years gone by. 5 years ago in 2007, Blades of Glory was number 1 with $33 million. 10 years ago in 2002, the top film was Panic Room with $30.1 million. 20 years ago in 1992, it was White Men Can't Jump with $14.7 million. 30 years ago in 1982, Porky's hit its 3rd week at number 1 with $8 million. And 40 years ago in 1972, The Godfather had its 2nd week at number 1 with $6.9 million, which was also the highest weekend debut of 1972. So what does the week of March 23rd bring to compete against The Hunger Games? We start things off with The Wrath of the Titans, an action fantasy film starring Sam Worthington, Liam Neeson, and Rosamund Pike.
We gods are losing our power. We believed Titans to be imprisoned forever. Now, they're breaking free. It will mean chaos. The end of the world.
What am I meant to do?
Perseus, I need your help.
This is for gods, not humans.
You will learn someday that being half human makes you stronger than a god.
sweating like a human. Next, it'll be tears.
Now quiet.
Perseus braves the treacherous underworld to rescue his father, Zeus, captured by his son, Ares, and brother Hades, who unleashed the ancient titans upon the world. Wrath of the Titans is rated PG-13. The next contender is Mirror, Mirror, a comedic drama starring Lily Collins, Julia Roberts, and Armie Hammer.
One of the most beloved stories of all time.
Who are you?
Snow White. Snow White.
Snow White.
Is coming to life in the motion picture event of the year.
I don't like the look of these woods, sire.
Who goes there?
You can't expect me to fight you.
Why?
You're minuscule.
That's the best you got.
No one is to know the details.
This spring,
Snow White, what are you...
Doing in the palace? I'm kind of the princess.
I look like an idiot.
Yes, a little bit.
in an enchanted kingdom.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all?
Snow White is the most beautiful woman in the whole world.
Agree to disagree. The queen's wicked.
She's evil.
Where anything is possible.
Your father meant for you to inherit his crown. Take back your kingdom.
Maybe this is a different Snow White.
Something funny
I'm scared.
is going on.
I'm going to marry the prince. I'll use the love potion. Puppy love. What am I supposed to do with a puppy?
You can throw sticks. I will retrieve them.
Go get it!
Where friends are enemies.
You're with the bandits?
You're with the queen.
Should we help her?
She's doing pretty good on her own.
And the princess
I need your help to defeat the queen.
We'll teach her to fight.
can be the hero.
I can think of no greater group of warriors to lead into battle. But this is my fight.
What?
Just go up.
Mirror, mirror.
Guys! Hey, guys! You know we have a spare, right?
An evil queen steals control of a kingdom, and an exiled princess enlists the help of 7 resourceful rebels to win back her birthright. Mirror, Mirror is rated PG. Next, we have Goon, a sports comedy starring Sean William Scott, Jay Baruchel, and Allison Pill.
Doug, I dig hockey players. The violence. The beer.
I'm hiring painkillers.
But I am a hockey player.
They call you Thumb, for Christ's sake. You're like the Hebrew Dolph Lundgren.
You're not here to play hockey. You're here to fight.
I'm horny a lot.
Yes! Boss, the boss Ray. He is the master.
He won't be heard from till next week.
I said, hey.
Hey, you ready? Yes. Thank you for asking.
Oh boy. This has all the elements of a sports masterpiece.
I want to see every single one of you work your asses off until you puke your guts out. This is not baseball.
Labeled an outcast by his brainy family, a bouncer overcomes long odds to lead a team of underperforming misfits to semi-pro hockey glory, beating the crap out of everything that stands in his way. Goon is rated R. The next title is Intruders, a horror thriller starring Clive Owen, Carice Van Houten, and Isan Corchero.
Holoface woke up because someone called his name. After many, many years, he was free. He found the boy's room and slipped inside. Holoface moved closer and closer.
You haven't finished it?
I didn't know how to. Now Holoface wanted the girl's place more than anything else in the world. So he devised a plan. He would hide in the dark corner of her room and wait for her to go to sleep. And then he would...
sweetheart?
I had a nightmare.
What was it about?
He spies on me when I'm asleep.
There's nobody here. It's just you and me.
He's here. He's inside. Holoface did not give up. He would wait for the right moment to rip off the girl's face.
He was there. He was attacking my daughter.
There was no one there, John.
So you think I'm crazy, do you? Don't worry, but he definitely won't come back.
Two children living in different countries are visited nightly by a faceless being who wants to take possession of them. Intruders is rated R. And the last wide-release title this week is Bully, a documentary starring Alex, Jemiah, and Kelby.
My concern is that you were making someone feel so uncomfortable that they didn't want to be in school.
I feel kind of nervous going to school because I like learning, but I have trouble with making friends.
He said he's a geek. Some kids had told him that he's worthless, to go hang himself. And I think he got to the point to where enough was enough.
Tonight, a tragic situation.
A Perkins boy, just 11 years old, believed to have been desperate enough to take his own life.
This is an awfully complicated and difficult issue.
Kids will be kids, boys will be boys. They're just cruel at this age.
Here what we get is nothing's wrong, we didn't do anything, everything's fine.
They punch me, strangle me, take things from me, sit on me.
Give it to him hard! He's not safe on that bus.
I've been on that bus. They are just as good as gold.
My voice is not going to fall silent. I will go to my grave until a difference is made.
We reached out to parents that have lost kids, parents of kids that are being bullied all over the world, and it took off like wildfire.
All it takes is for one person to stand up.
Be the difference. Go out and find that one child, that new kid standing over there by himself. Be willing to stand up for him.
Everything starts with one and builds up. Eventually we have an army.
If we all do it together, we will change the world.
Bully is a documentary on peer-to-peer bullying in schools across America. Bully is rated R. In limited release this week, we have one title. That's The Island President, a documentary starring Mohammed Nasheed. After bringing democracy to his country, President Mohammed Nasheed of the Maldives, the lowest-lying country in the world, takes up the fight to keep his homeland from disappearing under the sea. The Island President is rated PG and opens on March 28th in New York City. Next up, we'll take a look at the home entertainment slate for March 27th. That kicks off with Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, a drama starring Thomas Horn, Tom Hanks, and Sandra Bullock. A 9-year-old amateur inventor, francophile, and pacifist searches New York City for the lock that matches a mysterious key left behind by his father, who died in the World Trade Center on September 11th, 2001. Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close is rated PG-13. The next entry on the list is Alvin and the Chipmunks' Chipwrecked, an animated comedy starring Justin Long, Matthew Gray Gubler, and Jesse McCartney. Playing around while aboard a cruise ship, the Chipmunks and Chipettes accidentally go overboard and end up marooned on a tropical paradise. They discover their new turf is not as deserted as it seems. Alvin and the Chipmunks' Chipwrecked is rated G. Next up, we have A Dangerous Method, a drama starring Michael Fassbender, Keira Knightley, and Viggo Mortensen. A Dangerous Method is a look at how the intense relationship between Carl Jung and Sigmund Freud gives birth to psychoanalysis. A Dangerous Method is rated R. And last on the new DVD slate, we have In the Land of Blood and Honey, a war drama starring Zana Marjanovic, Goran Kostic, and Rad Sebredzia. During the Bosnian War, Daniel, a soldier fighting for the Serbs, re-encounters Alya, a Bosnian who's now a captive in the camp he oversees. Their once promising connection has become ambiguous as their motives have changed. In the Land of Blood and Honey is rated R. Moving right along to TV on DVD, we kick things off with Eureka, Season 4.5, starring Joe Morton and Colin Ferguson. When has it ever been simple in Eureka? Our heroes continue to adjust to the cataclysmic changes in their personal lives following their trip through time back to 1947 when the resident geniuses are presented with a new challenge, mounting a multi-billion-dollar space mission to Titan. As scientists vie to be chosen for the 20-member crew, Carter has his hands full with security breaches, super acid, and gravity issues. Allison can't get someone or something out of her head, and Zane and Joe come to terms with their fractured relationship. Sci-fi fan favorites Felicia Day and Will Wheaton guest star in this 3-disc set that includes a special extended version of the episode Of Mice and Men, the holiday episode Oh Little Town, as well as the Warehouse 13 crossover episode Don't Hate the Player. Relationship audits, force fields run amok, and floating banks. It's just another day in Eureka. Next on our list is Mystery Science Theater 3023, starring Joel Hodgson and Michael J. Nelson. Much like the country that spawned it, Mystery Science Theater 3000 is a melting pot. In every imaginable genre, Joel, Mike, and their robot pals Tom Servo and Crow T. Robot have seen the promise of cinema mutilated by mediocrity. Nowhere is this highfalutin concept more hilariously exemplified than in this 23rd collection of episodes from the beloved cult comedy television series. If you want a Western, it's here. Space adventure? Look no further. They'll even throw in a failed TV pilot and a barely coherent science fiction horror thriller. All genres are treated with equal disrespect by the luckless crew of the Satellite of Love. They pledge allegiance only to funny, with justice, SOL style, for all. Titles for this edition include King Dinosaur, The Castle of Fu Manchu, Codenamed Diamond Head, and Last of the Wild Horses. And last on our TV on DVD slate, we have South Park, the complete 15th season, starring Trey Parker and Matt Stone. All 14 uncensored episodes from South Park's landmark 15th season are loaded into this exclusive 3-disc set. Join Kyle, Stan, Kenny, and Cartman as they bro down on Broadway, become one with the human centipede, and take on the evil email hacking WikiLeaks. Up next, we'll take a look at the titles coming to Netflix streaming for the week of March 25th through March 31st. On March 25th, we have one title, that's The Sacred Blacksmith, an anime series from 2009 starring Jamie Marchi. Cicely Campbell is a young knight living in a free trade city. She's very determined, but she's also lacking in ability, and her sword is broken in a fight. After she's rescued by a skilled swordsman and master blacksmith, she comes into possession of a new sword. But this isn't your usual sword. This demon sword has magical properties and can take human form. March 26 also has one title, that's Chop, a comedic thriller from 2010 starring Timothy Muscatel, Caleb Emerson, and Chad Farron. Lance Reed is forced by a psychotic stranger to confront his duplicitous past. Seeking retribution for a crime, the man forces Lance to reveal his innermost secrets by systematically removing his limbs. Chop is not rated. March 27th brings a plethora of titles, starting with Jeannie Jones, a musical drama starring Abigail Breslin, Alessandro Nivola, and Elizabeth Shue. A young girl who's been abandoned by her former groupie mother informs a fading rock star that she is his daughter. Jeannie Jones is not rated. Next up is Fresh, a documentary from 2009 directed by Anna Sophia Jones. This absorbing documentary surveys American farmers and researchers pioneering efforts to develop efficient systems for growing food. All of those profiles share a common goal of limiting pollution while creating healthier products. Fresh is not rated. Next up is Angel of Evil, a biographical crime drama starring Kim Rossi Stewart, Filippo Timi, and Valeria Solarino. This action-packed crime thriller profiles the bloody career of Renato Valansasca, a daring and handsome outlaw who gained fame and celebrity-style adoration by many during the 1970s with a brazen string of robberies, kidnappings, and murders. Angel of Evil is rated R. Next on our list is Baggett, a documentary from 2010 starring Jeb Barrier, Jarrah Blumenfeld, and Martin Bork. An average guy makes a resolution to stop using plastic bags at the grocery store. Little does he know that his simple decision will change his life completely. He comes to the conclusion that our consumptive use of plastic has finally caught up to us, and looks at what we can do about it. Today, right now. Baggett is not rated. Next on our list is El Bulli, Cooking in Progress, a documentary from 2010 starring Farron Adria, Oriel Castro, and Edward Zatruk. Filmed over the course of 1 year, this appetizing documentary about the creation of Michelin-rated 3-star cuisine shadows world-renowned chef Ferran Adria as he plans and perfects a new menu from the privacy of his Barcelona cooking lab. El Bulli, Cooking in Progress, is unrated. And last, for March 27th, we have Doom Maro Doom, a crime drama from 2011 starring Abhishek Bachchan, Deepika Padukone, and Bipashu Basu. When a once-corrupt inspector cuffs a student for smuggling drugs, he's really after the mysterious kingpin driving Goa's thriving drug trade. But his actions also affect the lives of several other people at the airport that day. Doom Maro Doom is rated R. March 28th has one title, that's Vitai, an action film from 2012 starring Arya, Madhavan, and Samira Reddy. This powerful Tamil action film follows the shared fate of two very different siblings, policeman Thiru and his roguish brother Guru. When Thiru finds himself outmatched while fighting local gangsters, Guru comes to his aid. Vitai is not rated. March 29th has two titles. The first is Mandrill, an action film from 2009 starring Marco Zaror, Celine Raymond, and Alejandro Castillo. Years after his mother is murdered, young hitman Mandrill embarks on a bloody and unyielding revenge mission, vowing to bring deadly justice to the killer in this gripping Chilean action thriller. Mandrill is rated R. The other title for March 29th is I Melt With You, a drama from 2011 starring Thomas Jane, Rob Lowe, and Jeremy Piven. When four 40-something college friends meet up for their annual reunion, things start to spiral out of control, and a pact they made as young men is revisited. I Melt With You is rated R. March 30th has one title, that's The Double Hour, a crime drama from 2009 starring Ksenia Rappaport, Filipino Timi, and Antonia Trupo. A chambermaid and an ex-cop meet at a speed dating event, and a romance develops. But during a romantic getaway, things suddenly take a dark turn. The Double Hour is not rated. And finally, we come to the biggest day for Netflix this week. That's March 31st, starting with Lights Out, a drama series from 2011 starring Holt McCallany, Stacey Keach, and Catherine McCormick. FX's gritty drama follows Patrick Lights Leary, a retired boxer who suffered too many punches to the head. As much as he'd like to stay out of the ring, Leary may have to don the gloves once again to support his family after landing a serious debt. The next title is The Off Hours, a drama from 2010 starring Amy Semmets, Ras Partridge, and Tony Dupe. A waitress working the night shift at a roadside diner in a small industrial town becomes intrigued by a charming truck driver while the diner's owner struggles to keep his dwindling business afloat. The Off Hours is not rated. The next title on our list is Traffic Light, a comedic series from 2011 starring David Denman, Nelson Franklin, and Chris Marshall. Traffic Light is a comedy about how friendships and romances both enhance and complicate our lives, which centers on three longtime friends and their attempts to navigate the demands of their relationships. The next title is probably a sci-fi Saturday special. That's Two-Headed Shark Attack, a horror movie from 2011 starring Carmen Electra, Charlie O'Connell, and Brooke Hogan. Survivors escape to a deserted atoll after a semester at sea ship is sunk by a mutated two-headed shark. But when the atoll starts flooding, no one is safe from the double jaws of the monster. Two-Headed Shark Attack is rated R. Next on our list is Arabia IMAX, a documentary from 2010 starring Helen Mirren. Helen Mirren narrates a sweeping exploration of Arabian culture and history that's driven by stunning IMAX cinematography. Standing at the center is a young film student who returns from studying abroad to shoot a movie about his homeland. Arabia IMAX is not rated. Next up, we have Bahria, a comedic drama from 2009 starring Francesco Soriano, Margaret Mate, and Raul Boya. Bahria, which is Sicilian slang for Bahria, is where director Giuseppe Tomatore was born, and this is an autobiographical epic of three generations in the Sicilian village. Bahria is not rated. Next up, we have The Chicago Code, a crime series from 2011 starring Jason Clarke, Jennifer Beals, and Matt Lauria. Fox's gritty cop drama follows a newly appointed police superintendent, Teresa Colvin, and her former partner, veteran detective Jarek Wasaki, as they battle to rid Chicago of crime as well as rampant corruption of the powerful Politico Ronan Gibbons. Next, we take a look at The Hammer, a sports drama from 2010 starring Russell Harvard, Raymond J. Barry, and Shoshana Stern. The Hammer is a coming-of-age drama following the life of Matt Hamill, the first deaf wrestler to win a National Collegiate Wrestling Championship. The Hammer is rated PG-13. Next on our list is Rango, an animated comedy from 2011 starring Johnny Depp, Isla Fisher, and Timothy Oliphant. Rango is an ordinary chameleon who accidentally winds up in the town of Dirt, a lawless outpost in the Wild West in desperate need of a new sheriff. Rango is rated PG. Next up, we have Clash of Empires, which is also known as the Malay Chronicles Bloodlines, an action-adventure film from 2011 starring Stephen Rahman Hughes, Gavin Stenhouse, and Jing Lucy. In this historical action-adventure extravaganza set during the 2nd century, mighty warrior Marong protects a Roman prince against evil sorcerer kings and other perils as he journeys through Asia to marry a reluctant Chinese princess. Clash of Empires is rated R. Next up is Free Runner, an action film from 2011 starring Sean Ferris, Danny Dyer, and Amanda Fuller. With a ticking bomb locked to his neck, a young freerunner races against the clock and all types of baddies to get from one end of the city to the other to save himself and his girlfriend. Freerunner is rated R. Next we have The Perfect Game, a sports drama from 2009 starring Clifton Collins Jr., Cheech Marin, and Moises Arias. Based on a true story, The Perfect Game is about a group of boys from Monterrey, Mexico, who become the first non-U.S. team to win the Little League World Series. The Perfect Game is rated PG. And last on our list, we have Friends with Benefits, a comedy series from 2011 starring Ryan Hansen, Danielle Ackles, and Zach Krager. 5 friends are all looking for the loves of their lives, but settle for less in the meantime. And finally, we wrap up the home entertainment section with Blu-rays from the past. This time we start things off with Casablanca, the 70th Anniversary Edition, a drama from 1942 starring Humphrey Bogart, Ingrid Bergman, and Paul Henreid. Set in unoccupied Africa during the early days of World War II, an American expatriate meets a former lover with unforeseen complications. Casablanca is not rated. Next on the list is The Bodyguard, a drama from 1992 starring Kevin Costner, Whitney Houston, and Gary Kemp. A former Secret Service agent takes on the job of bodyguard to a pop singer whose lifestyle is most unlike a president's. The Bodyguard is rated R. The third title on our list is A Night to Remember, a historical drama from 1958 coming to the Criterion Collection, starring Kenneth Moore, Ronald Allen, and Robert Ayers. On April 14, 1912, just before midnight, the unsinkable Titanic struck an iceberg. In less than 3 hours, it had plunged to the bottom of the sea, taking with it more than 1,500 of its 2,200 passengers. In this unforgettable rendering of Walter Lord's book of the same name, A Night to Remember, the acclaimed British director Roy Ward Baker depicts with sensitivity, awe, and a fine sense of tragedy the ship's final hours. Featuring remarkably restrained performances, A Night to Remember is cinema's subtlest, finest dramatization of this monumental 20th century catastrophe. A Night to Remember is not rated. The next title on the list is Dragonheart, a drama from 1996 starring Dennis Quaid, Sean Connery, and Dina Meyer. The last dragon and a disillusioned dragon-slaying knight must cooperate to stop an evil king who was given partial immortality. Dragonheart is rated PG-13. And last on our list is Who's Minding the Store, a comedy from 1963 starring Jerry Lewis, Jill St. John, and Ray Walston. Norman Pfeiffer works as a store clerk in a large department store. Clumsy and inept, he can't do anything right. Boy, are they in trouble. Who's Minding the Store is not rated. Let's finish this off with one item in today's Quick Flicks. Remember the controversy from last week about Michael Bay and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Will Bay has some advice. Take a breath and chill. He claims to be, quote, working closely with one of the original creators of the Ninja Turtles to help expand and give a more complex backstory, end quote. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles creators Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman each came to Bay's defense as well. Laird said, quote, I would actually encourage TMNT fans to swallow the quote-unquote chill pill Michael Bay recently suggested they take and wait and see what might come out of this seemingly ill-conceived plan. It's possible that, with enough truly creative brainpower applied to this idea, it might actually work. I'm not saying it's probable, or even somewhat likely, but it is possible, end quote. Eastman responded, quote, I had been invited to check out the TMNT film development by my friend Scott Mednick over the years, and a while back I had a full look behind the curtain with the writers Josh Applebaum and Andre Nemec, director Jonathan Liebsman, and producer Michael Bay are doing, and trust me, it is awesome. I'm officially on board, end quote. Now, to be fair, Peter Laird clarified his statement on his blog, quote, did you really get out of what I wrote that I in any way, shape, or form like the idea of a blend of turtles? If so, I guess I had to rethink how I express myself. Just so it's absolutely clear, I think a blend of turtles is not, in and of itself, a bad idea for some kind of science fiction fantasy story, but as a way to explain any aspect of the backstory of TMNT, I think it's awful and unnecessary. Leisman also clarified that the alien aspect was always part of the comic book series. Quote, "Look, it's so funny. If everyone was such a die-hard fan, they would know that the TCRI canisters where the ooze comes from, that's alien ooze." Now, I'm not saying what Michael said is exactly what the movie is, because we're sitting in a room now figuring everything out, so we don't know. But we are, like Michael said, we're expanding it, and the expansion will be true to the mythology. Whatever mythology we're building on or expanding is coming from that guy, Kevin Eastman's head, who created the Turtles in the first place. And so everything will tie in with the mythology. Fans will be extremely excited with what we're coming up with. A lot of it is stuff he wanted to do for a long time, but just hasn't had the opportunity because now we have the budget and things on the film to expand it in the right way. And so I'm happy that everyone is extremely passionate, and they will not be disappointed. It's all coming from the best possible place for this franchise. End quote. Okay then. If you want to discuss anything you heard on this week's edition, or possibly offer the chance for Jonathan Leisman to take a breath, please take a moment to get in touch. You can surf on over to chronicriff.com and leave a note in the forums. You can leave voicemail at 888-866-9010, or you can write to John at chronicriff.com. You can follow us on Tumblr, tweet us on Twitter, check in the network on GetGlue, watch the classics on Funny or Die, catch us on Stitcher Radio, and leave us a review on iTunes. You can also find the weekly Podioplex and the Chronic Rift on Facebook and Google+. If you decide to pick up any of this week's new releases, why not do it through our Amazon store? You get the newest entertainment at Amazon's low prices and high-quality service, and each purchase you make through the store supports the Chronic Rift. Look for the link in our show notes. The weekly Podioplex is a Lucky Shot production and is produced by John S. Drew. This is Michael Faulkner. Thanks for listening. I'll see you at the theater.
That made no sense.
Epilogue. Well, Rocky, it turns out that Jimmy was hiding in the Camaro.
Now it's Adventures in Paradise.
Real bad man with a plan that's he's the clown in the road, stands about 7'2".
I'll have the number 6, the Christopher Lee. It comes with egg roll.
In?
Yes. In what?
Oh, Romer. He's the guy who did My Night at Maud's.
No,
Pauline
that's
and the Beach.
Eric Romer.
Oh. Castle of Fu Manchu, where you eat square hamburgers with chopsticks.
You know, they should have stuck Martin up there with Crawford, and everyone would have two names.
Hey, look, it's Howard and Marion from Happy Days, Richie's parents.
Taboo.
Richard Green is Nayland Smith. Ba-dum-bum-bum.
Wool provided by Emmanuel Marino.
Oh, Camilleri. I love it with a light horseradish sauce.
It's calamari.
Oh, I always make that mistake. My lord, I'm bored with these credits already.
Oh, come on. We can't keep making fun of the names. Get on with it.
Titles by Peter Max. Are these the same towers or... Oh, look, even the towers got their own credits.
By Harry Allen Towers. Harry Allen Towers. Harry Allen Towers!
That's a wrap!